Yo, better run the like it's the Krewe NFC, the Roundtable where the real heads be. Talking NFL, the game we adore, but from the touchdowns to the legends, it's so much more. That fucking guy, he's got the stats on lock, dropping knowledge on the field, watching every block. Back and bleeding green, cheering loud and proud. In the sea of cheese, as he's standing out the crowd. I can't hear with the looks and the smarts, breaking down the plays, and he does it with heart. Then the stout, solid like the line. His takes are heavy, his vision's divine. Week by week, we break the game down. From every big play to every new crown. Offense, defense, we cover it all. From the springtime draft to the winner's last call. It's not just a podcast, it's a fan's lifeline. Connecting every moment from the vines to the side.
Good morning, gentlemen. Week 4, Krewe NFC Roundtable. Gentlemen, how goes it?
Word.
So, we have a couple undefeated still in the room here. Let's go through and if you're undefeated, say aye. Liar.
Oh, well,
Yep.
I don't pay attention.
I guess you all know already. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are one of the few NFC teams that are still undefeated. And I'm not saying that it's because we're great, because we have played a
Definitely not that.
let's say mediocre record right now, right? It's not. I mean, our mediocre schedule. It's not that we enter the hardest part of the schedule yet, because that's coming right now. Before we get into that, I think we need to just simmer down on things. Let's talk about this whole pick 6 we had last week. We all did so well. We did a real outstanding job with our, I don't know, what would you say there? Predictions, if you will. I think Andy was really close to winning it this week. He was right. No. It was bad. Like, we all were bad last week. I think Brian and Mike tied with 12. So congratulations. I got 11, and
How you suck?
Andy once again he finishes off with the best golf score there is, 7.
Yeah.
So don't listen to us. Pick 6, pick your own. We have quite a few people that played last week. Ryan Stempf and Brian S. Edwards actually both pulled 18s last week, making us look stupid. Jim Lovell and Jackie Santa Croce both pulled a 16, and Bruce O'Bear popped in at 14, which all beated us. The lowest fan score doubled Andy's score. Not that I'm trying to pile on or anything like that, but doubled Andy's score. So
You always like piling on.
and
Never mind.
while we're beating a dead horse, I mean, we might as well start off in the North today. What do you guys think? NFC North?
Yeah, sure.
Where do we usually start?
Welcome to the bare minimum with your host, I Candy. Walter, Ditka, Peyton, Dent, Butkus, Hitman, Khalil, Fridge, Richard, Jim, Lovey, Sires, Cutler, Feuds, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears.
Andy,
That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
it's all you, my friend. What?
As it should be. All week, every week. So I know there was a couple of things going on. So briefly, I hear that there's calls from certain fans about the firing of Matt Eberflus, of course, and the defensive coordinator for Dallas. And I don't think you have to give him time to be able to kind of sort of make the he's up.
I was going to say that
I think the rest
defense
of
is the easiest to gel, so you can't give me that anymore.
I think the NFC would actually appreciate it if he stuck around a little bit longer. That way, you know how to be able to beat them week in, week out. It's like every other year. But anyway, we actually, of course, pulled out the victory. Very simple victory.
Who'd you beat?
The boys from Dallas got Hammered,
Okay.
hosed, destroyed, annihilated.
You guys should have had a show bet or something.
It was one of those things, really. But you also have to understand the fact that, you're now looking at the current reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week in Caleb Williams. 298 yards, 4 touchdowns in a 31-point blowout victory. I think Dallas actually scored, I think. I'm not really sure. I think everybody turned everything off, pretty much after the first half of the first quarter. So you actually have a couple of things. Stephen Carlson, of course, and linebacker Carl Jones both were elevated. You have that's the thing. You have several different things that are going on, especially with the Bears. Injury report wise, Darnell Wright elbow. He's supposedly out for tonight. Defensive tackle Grady Jarrett knee. TJ Edwards is a hamstring. I think he's questionable. Last time I actually seen it, as well as DeAndre Swift is also questionable for tonight's game. So we'll see how that ends up playing out because some of those are, unfortunately, they're key positions for the Bears, and of course, Jalen Johnson is going to be out with a groin injury. So there's going to be a couple of things. So keys to victory for the Bears today is probably going to be kind of what they started to do last week. You're getting your defensive, your tight ends actually involved. You're actually blocking 2 and 3 and 4 times. Cable can actually look down the field and actually possibly either run or, there's a few things that he did. He wanted to hold the ball a little bit too long. But the running backs actually were starting to do a little bit of do a little bit of plus yardage, which is always a major gift, especially when you're looking at Caleb Williams as he stands right now. Almost 300 yards passing and several touchdowns. Cool, but this week you have some weird-looking tattooed fella, defensive end by the name of Crosby, who he's going to have to go against. And you have several players that are probably going to, because he has a motor that just won't stop. So he has several players that he has to go against in order to be able to prevent him from making Caleb Williams get happy feet and throwing a couple of picks, which he doesn't necessarily throw picks per se. He fumbled balls before he did that. But, really the keys to your victory are going to be just like last week. You have to make sure that you're looking downfield, tight end, running back. Defense, very simply, you have to make sure that you score more than you allow. It's just that simple. And Las Vegas, oddly enough, is actually one of those teams that's kind of like on the uppish tick. They're not necessarily, to that point yet, but you could definitely see that they're doing certain things. And, you have the Bears that are coming in this afternoon. And it's just going to be one of those things where, the Bears have the opportunity to be able to pull out a good victory. But I would say, if anything, you're looking at a full touchdown victory, quite possibly anywhere between 5.5 and 5.75 points. Problems, questions, comments?
I actually do. I have
Go
a
ahead,
question. I have a question. Last week, the line looked good against Dallas. But now we're talking about Dallas, right? They had no pass rush on Caleb Williams. You're going against a different beast than Max Crosby with the Raiders. How is that offensive line going to keep up with that this week?
Are there any intelligent questions from somebody who isn't a Packers fan?
So seriously.
So here's the interesting part about with the offensive line. You actually they're not necessarily ragtag, but you're kind of getting to that point with the injuries that they actually have on the offensive line. You're definitely going to have to look at DeAndre Swift actually kind of, possibly helping out with chipping or even an out-and-out block of Crosby himself. He's not unblockable. It's just the fact that he's got that motor that just doesn't run. So even if he doesn't necessarily cause havoc behind the line of scrimmage, he can possibly get you for negative yardage. He can probably give you maybe 1 or 2 yards from the running back. He likes to go sideline to sideline. So he's a really, really good player, and I think the Bears' offensive lines could conceivably, handle him one-on-one if they had Swift or even any running back, fullback that's going to be able to assist with that. Simply because of that motor.
I think you might actually run your tight end to that side frequently, just to keep him at bay, so to speak.
Oh yeah,
You're not really using your tight ends effectively in Chicago right now for the most part anyway. We asked this question last week before the game. Do you have faith in Caleb Williams? Now you got another week under your belt. He played okay last week. He didn't hurt you. Is that faith rising? Is that rising, or are you still
to kind of sort of, Brian's question, as a matter of fact, yes, if he has time. Not necessarily if he doesn't. So if you're looking at the possibility of, okay, we'll just say this. If he has one or two early sacks, early in the game, that is, what'll end up happening is he'll get the heavy feet, and then you're going to have an issue. Probably the good portion of the game. So as long as he can actually get even, high percentage, 2 or 3 passes under his belt, he's going to get that confidence and where he's throwing the ball, things like that. So just as long as you actually have some time that he can actually stay in the field and or run, hold the ball too long, and then, try to throw it out of bounds, then I have more faith in him this game than, with similar to last game. If by chance he gets 1 or 2 early, early pressures, it could be a long game.
Yeah, Caleb Williams is just, it's not as bad as you would have in, let's say, Washington, where he's often injured and going to miss time or anything like that. But if Caleb Williams were to get injured and you see Caleb Bajan come in and, go on a tear, what is Chicago going to do then? You got a real situation where not a lot of the fan base is completely bought into Caleb Williams. You got a lot of the coaching staff that isn't really bought into Caleb Williams, in my opinion. I just don't know if he's the answer, and I don't know if him getting hurt does more harm than good for him in the future. I mean,
it's kind of one of those things, you're absolutely right in the fact that, everybody's still kind of up in the air because of the fact the last 174 quarterbacks that we've had over the last 3 years have not had necessarily that success, but it all basically stems with the offensive line. They did in fact try to address the offensive line situation, but with injuries and with the fact that, you may not necessarily congeal with the guy next to you, whatever the case might be, they can literally go out and get 5 Pro Bowlers and still there would be some sort of a problem. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, we talked about last week training. I don't know if it's just, with practices, whatever the case might be. But if by chance Caleb Williams had that opportunity to be able to develop behind a line that can actually protect accordingly, I think he probably would be much more successful than he's been. And that might just be a franchise thing, unfortunately. But I guess only time will tell.
Well, for this game, let's go over what is your keys to the Bears' victory for this week? I mean, what
100% scoring more than the opposing team.
And
but you have to make sure that you're getting your tight ends in. So, and we've often talked about this, you kind of run the ball in order to be able to open up that pass, even if it's a medium or even possibly even a longer 20-plus yard pass. So the Bears need to be able to do that throughout the field. Defense, of course, also Max Crosby is going to be a major eyesore as far as in him probably going to be in the backfield quite often. So if that being the case, the Bears need to be able to somehow, some way slow him down, if not stop him completely. Defensively is kind of interesting because if you get 1 or 2 stops, I think there might not necessarily be a whole lot of fight left in that dog. With that being said, they are kind of on the uptick. So, you just have to watch out for that, for those intermediate and longer runs. And as long as the Bears can actually prevent the run, I'm thinking the Bears are probably going to win by, like I said, at least 1 full touchdown. So, but we need at least 100 yards or close to it, anywhere between 89 to 100 yards of actual rushing for the Bears to be able to kind of open up that pass game. But we need to prevent the exact same thing.
Well, does that include Caleb scrambling, or are you saying straight run plays, design runs need at least 100?
A straight run,
80 to 100.
Straight run, running backs, fullbacks, whatever.
Right on. Well,
Andy, I agree with you on your assessment with the offensively with the Bears, because I do think they really need to establish the ground game, especially to kind of keep Max Crosby in check. But the one thing that I look at analytically is the Bears defense is ranked in the bottom third of the league. And you look at a team like the Raiders. The Raiders do have a couple dudes that have talent, and the one thing that I'm really looking at in this game is how the Bears stop the run, because it seems like, especially when I looked at the Dallas game last week, they weren't able to stop Dallas's run enough. It was just more of the passing mistakes and missing CeeDee Lamb that I think that really cost the Cowboys last game. My thing is Ashton Genty hasn't had his come out party yet. You know, he's at home. He's facing a team that's got a bottom third defense that gives up a lot of yards, can give up a lot of big plays. Is that a concern for you?
Yes and no. So the Raiders are actually having some of the same issues that the Bears are having as far as like offensive line. And if you've seen some of those, little videos that you might see on, one of the other social media outlets, Jeffy doesn't necessarily like to block. Because if you got, even if you got a 250-pound even linebacker that's actually coming rushing in, you don't necessarily want to get in the way, because you're going to end up on the old backside, and that's clearly what he does not want to have happen. He's always looking for that run. Hey, just toss it off to me, and I'll be able to run. The Bears should be able to be a little bit more stout as far as the actual run defense in and of itself. Should. Your secondary, of course, is quickly depleted, but Stevenson is starting to really kind of come into his own and being a little bit more of a, I hesitate to say like lockdown. I would probably say he's kind of a lock. He hasn't gotten the down part yet. Out of 5 passes, he's going to stop at least 3.2 of those passes, that kind of thing. But with Jalen Johnson, of course, being out, that's a major hit to the Bears defense and secondary especially. So if by chance they can stop the run, they become a very one-dimensional team, and I think the Bears would probably be able to pull that one out. We're looking probably, I'm thinking somewhere, it might even be closer than 7 points, 21-17 kind of a thing. So it'll be kind of scorey-ish, but it won't be huge.
Right on. Andy, this has been like kind of weird for us, because you're really like giving us insightful information here. We're not used to this from you. We're used to the,
Well, we're trying
Bears.
we're trying to be able to do a few things, but the Bears, I'm actually just reading right here, are estimated to score over 100 points today.
We needed that. There is another game going on right now, actually, in the NFC North. Jalen Ramsey had a 61-yard return on a fumble for a touchdown. Right now, 14-3 Pittsburgh over Minnesota.
Hey, Minnesota, but freaking AA run, man.
Brian, how's that make you feel?
Well, I mean, short of a tragic blimp accident, I kind of don't care.
So that game's already taken care of itself. We do have the Browns-Lions in the NFC North. What are you guys' takes on this game? Lions are favored by 10. I don't know if I stay away from that if I'm a gambling man, just because that seems like an awful lot of points to give somebody. Browns coming off a big win last week.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns actually won, only because they have that ultimate high over here. No, they're probably going to end up losing by quite a few. But, if defensively, I don't necessarily think they have, oddly enough, the offensive juggernaut again, which is Detroit. I don't think they have the defense to be able to stop that type of offense. And the aggressiveness of their lines, probably going to get kind of toasty.
This is one of those games where I look at it and I'm like, okay, you're right, Andy. The Browns are coming off that high, beating the Packers. And the Lions are playing pissed off football after getting destroyed by the Packers in week 1. Dan Campbell's got those guys revved up. I know the line says 10. This is one where I shy away from the number, and I would just go on the money line on this, just because it's an unknown the Browns defense is completely legit. Let's just put it that way. But do they have enough to really completely shut down Detroit? That's a different story. I know the Browns offensively they're anemic. I mean, you got Joe, the aged Joe Flacco, running the show. I mean, one hit on him, and then you're seeing backups the rest of the year. So, and it would be kind of interesting to see what would happen if he got hurt. Would would the team be forced to put Shador in? That'd be kind of funny. But
Dylan.
Not that that's NFC related, but I think we need to dive into this real quick. Does Shador hold any value right now? I mean, what are they doing? Are they trying to shop him later? I mean, he has no value. What are you going to get? A sixth, a seventh? Quarterbacks are often injured, and they're still. I mean, they're not going to play him. I don't think. I don't think they're going to give him the opportunity to play.
He might end up being like a Baker, where as long as he finds the right team, he can actually shine. Or they're keeping him because look at Daddy Prime, and so you have that type of thing. Brings more fans, brings more publicity, that kind of thing. He's not a. And venture to say he's not necessarily horrible, but some of his passes, some of his thoughts and stuff like that, he's just not quite where it should be.
So you think it's a talent thing? You don't think it's a whole drama, what he brings to the locker room or anything like that? You think it's more of a talent that keeps him from being on the field?
It's conceivable, but I would probably venture to say it's probably more of a talent thing than anything, because even during training camp when he was third string and he was getting anywhere between 5 to 10 reps per session, he wasn't necessarily taking advantage of those reps. He might errantly throw 2 or 3 that are just God knows where. So I just think more of a talent thing than anything.
Stout, you look like you had something to say. You going?
Oh, I was just going to say that they're probably doing the right thing by sitting them and letting them watch and learn, but it's the Browns. I forgot what TV was on, so I don't know why now. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
there's another game. Yeah, we got one more in the north.
No, we don't. Let's go to the east.
Dude, Micah's finally back in Dallas.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Talk about circles.
Yeah. And they don't have to put, and they won't have to put the curtains up tonight, I don't think. So
Micah might leave Dallas with a win for the first time ever.
Yeah.
They're both going to lose 0-0. You watch.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
We lost to the Bears, so I don't have high hopes for this game. So.
Yeah, but Dallas sucked.
Dude, that was a fluky loss. Let's be honest. You're not going to get your doors blown off like that too many times.
17-14 fluke. 31 points is not a fluke.
Yeah, we will.
You're lacking.
If we keep our defensive coordinator, we will.
Yeah. So, let's get into it, guys. I mean, seriously, give us what you got.
Go ahead, Stout. You got nothing? Oh, jeez.
I didn't do my homework. No, we start off with that. We could literally start off with the injury report, and it goes into last week. CeeDee Lamb got hurt, rolled his ankle up because we decided to, I guess, not use our running backs that have been averaging over 3 yards per carry. We're going to use CeeDee Lamb as a running back, and that's how he gets hurt. So we got Schottenheimer doing something stupid. We got defensive coordinator doing something stupid. And CeeDee Lamb's out. Then it comes out the next few days that our starting right guard, our rookie Booker, is out. So now we have 2 different interior linemen that we're dealing with backups. Now, when Hansen played last week, I think he did a pretty good job at center. But now having that with the injury report being down, and I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. I mean, Pickens is going to have to step up, but we all know what happens when he's the number 1 wide receiver and he doesn't get the ball. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But the biggest thing with Micah coming back and our offensive line's beat up, not a good showing, because if I was Green Bay, I'd either put him on in the middle like they have been doing, because he'll blow that middle up. I don't think they should put him on the left side of our offensive line. But other than that, I think it's going to be a Micah coming out party, and I think with the emotions of him coming back and everything that's happened, I think it's going to be a big. I think he's going to get more reps in this week than he's had the first 3 weeks of the season. So, and that's going to be probably should start learning how to run. Is what I'm looking at right now. So, Green Bay by 14. Are we at home? Oh, we're at home. Green Bay by 21.
Oh, wow. Come on, man.
Oh my God.
Roll, roll. The sky is no longer falling, it's crashing down. The sky is no longer falling, it's crashing down. The sky is no longer falling, it's crashing down. Roll, roll.
Jordan Love's gonna not know what to do this week when he has time to sit in a pocket and throw the ball. And I'm not lying about that and making a joke. I'm not making a joke about it. I'm being dead serious. Like
that might weigh into your favor. You give Jordan Love time to actually do something, he might be throwing the ball to Diggs.
Yeah, no.
Stuff is already in mid-season form.
Whoever had week 4 on the bingo card for that just won, right?
Good God.
We ran zone 11 times against the Bears that were running the ball. I mean, and then, it's after last week, my hopes just, I'm done. The sky was lifting, and then last week, the sky is falling. It's crashing to the ground. We're done.
There is no sky, only ground.
Yeah. All we got is the Giants in the dirt, and we're good.
Wow.
Oh, I think here we go.
Nice job, Sean. Nicely done.
Oh man.
Start calling you Chicken Little.
All right. Mike, I was going to ask you your keys for a Dallas victory, but hey, why don't you give us the keys for a Green Bay victory? No, I'm joking. Brian, what have you got?
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I know it's, that sky's been caving in, but just to give a little respect to the Cowboys, looking at again analytics with defense, with the total defense and stuff like that. I mean, I know they're bottom ranked, but their strong suit is the run, and that's the one thing the Packers have struggled with early on in the season is getting Josh Jacobs going. Obviously, that's going to be one of my keys. Is we've got to get the run going. But here's my issue. We have 3 offensive linemen, starters, out. Aaron Banks, the guard, Anthony Belton, and Zach Tom, both tackles. And obviously, that showed last week against the Browns, against that front line the Browns have. That Browns line is legit. And I know we're playing Dallas, but still, when you're playing, 3/5 of your line is backups and you're shifting everybody. I mean, it's looking like they're gonna be putting Rasheed Walker at left tackle, Jordan Morgan at left guard, Elton Jenkins at center, Sean Ryan at right guard, and Darian Kennard at right tackle. All of them have had decent amount of game experience, but this isn't what you started the season with. And
welcome to Tampa. Jump in the pool.
So if there's a massive question mark in this game for the Packers, it's right there and it's clear. So we've got to see what the line's going to do, especially pass protection and also obviously, run. Packers defensively, they need to stop the run because Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders have combined for 350 yards in 3 games, and they are carrying the ball very well, especially after first contact. If they can contain Dallas's running game, I think and force Dak Prescott to make decisions. Obviously, you saw what happened in the second half of the Bears game. If he makes poor choices throwing the ball all over the place into the other team, could be a long day for the Cowboys. I think defensively also, and again, we bring this up, Micah Parsons. I think Micah Parsons is going to come in, obviously, with he's ready. He wants this game. He wants to show Jerry Jones, you effed up. And I think this is going to be a game to where you're going to start seeing Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness on the field along with Parsons together. And if you see that a lot tonight, the Packers have only allowed 1.5 yards per play and are generating pressure on almost 40% of the snaps. I've looked all this analytics crap up. I just wanted to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, and then basically my last key is they have to finish. Week 1 they finished. The Lions closed the gap to 17-6, and the Packers just went on and then stomped on their throat. Against the Browns, they didn't. They let them back in the fourth quarter. I mean, obviously, you have to close the door on teams, so you got to look at that. I think early on the Packers are going to try to establish the run and not put Jordan Love in the situations where he's got to make massive choices. I've said it before. The defensively with the Packers, I think, is going to make Jordan Love more comfortable with choices. But the problem is frustrate him like the Browns did. That's when he's apt to make the poor choices, and you cannot give teams, free possessions because of your bonehead throwing mistakes. So minimize mistakes, establish the run, stop Dallas's run. I think it'll be a easy day for the Packers if all that comes to fruition.
Quick question. So, are you at all afraid of the Dak Prescott golden arm of Dak Prescott?
But he had a golden arm.
If here's the thing, you fluster Dak, he's prone to make mistakes when he doesn't have his big play receiver on the field, as Stout brought up. If these guys aren't where they're supposed to be or not catching the ball or making mistakes, it's going to be a long day. You can't. I think in Dak Prescott's case, it's he's dealing with he's dealing with a little and not dealing with or he's only been given a little and not having a lot. And I think fluster him enough, he's going to make the mistakes. I'm personally more worried about stopping the running backs to put them in passing situations, early down passing situations, to where Dak has to make smart choices.
Yeah.
And
Stout, do you have any keys? Go ahead.
Yeah, I do.
I'm sorry.
I do. I do. The thing is Brian touched about it, was we're going to have to run the ball this week. As much as, Micah's coming out party and everything else, you go back and look, Micah's not very good against the run. He's really not. I don't know. I mean, he made a tackle last week and they're like, oh yeah, he can stop the run. Yeah, but did you watch the rest of the game when he was in? He's not very good against the run. If we could run the ball like we have been, we'll be fine. With CeeDee Lamb out, I think you're going to see a lot of Jake Ferguson. He's leading the league in receptions as a tight end. I think Dak is kind of starting to realize, hey, he's always in the right spot where he's supposed to be. Let's start throwing it to this guy. And that was some of the issues that we've been having, like Brian brought up. It's not always Dak's fault. Some of these guys aren't where they're supposed to be. And that's it. With the keys on the defense, yeah, I know if we watch the Browns tape, maybe Eberflus will, I don't know, maybe blitz a linebacker or two to get pressure on Jordan Love. If we just keep sitting in that zone, any NFL quarterback's going to pick that apart, basically. I mean, they showed it last week, even when the bottom tier Caleb Williams tore us apart. I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, and Charles Barkley terrible. I mean,
Horrible.
But if we could get out, if we could get out of the zone. But yeah, I think the key is, and the Packers haven't really ran the ball that well, and that's one of our fortes this year. It used to be we were really good at the pass and sucked at the run, and it kind of switched this year. Eventually, when they get together, we might have a really good defense that we could stop both. But I think if they make Jordan Love scramble like they did last week against the Browns, I think we'll be all right. But offensively, the key is to keep the ball all game long as much as possible, and just Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and pound the ball, and then dink and duck it to Jake Ferguson, and maybe every once in a while get those safeties to creep in and try to throw a deep one to George Pickens. But that's the keys that they're going to have to do to win. And basically on offense, but on defense, they're going to have to get out of the zone. They're going to have to. They can't be playing it all game. I think I even looked it up. I think it was 76% of the time they were in zone. Like what? Why?
Well, I'm glad one of your keys to your victory is the fact that you have to run the ball. Because during that Micah trade, you took away one of the Green Bay's best run stoppers. So you have that advantage on your side. You know what I mean? You have.
Well, yeah, and with the addition of Kenny Clark, and me and Brian, we've brought it up that we had this conversation about we're both basically trading two injured people. It looks like they're both getting healthy. And Kenny Clark is taking up double teams like nobody's business, and he's still getting through some of them. So we never had that. They would double team the weakest defensive lineman and run the ball there. So that I think that part has helped us with the run. It's just not Kenny Clark, and I think it's with our linebackers too, of getting Sanborn. Again, I keep bringing his name up. He's all over the place. Even watching the games, he's all over the place. So, but yeah, I mean, it's again, Green Bay by 20. We're at Dallas, so
it's weird you bring up Sanborn because Chicago, known for being a defensive team, just decides we're good enough on defense, and now they struggle defensively, and their offense has become their identity. So you're taking the NFC North and just pulling them your way.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out. It helped us out, and it seems like this trade has kind of helped out both teams with the Parsons trade with Green Bay. It's helped out Green Bay, I think, a lot more than it has Dallas, because we got one aspect taken care of in the run game. So
you would mention, of course, the bottom rung of being Caleb Williams, how he was able to torch Dallas for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. I actually venture to say that the Bears are probably. Okay, so the Bears are probably more on the uptick, and Dallas seems to be a little bit more on the downtick. Do you actually see that being the case as far as like Dallas being, kind of sliding into mediocrity?
we never left. I don't know. Okay, good question, Andrew.
All right. So
have you not watched the show? Do you not listen when I talk?
Nobody listens when you talk.
No.
There's a couple more games in the East. We finally wrap up the North. Mike,
we'll get through this pretty quick. We'll start with the Chargers-Giants. Chargers 3-0. Who would have thought? I know my father-in-law's real happy about that one, but he's going to keep his hopes down. That's what he tells me. So, but they're going into MetLife Stadium, one of the worst stadiums there possibly could be in all of NFL football. The news, but news coming out of New York, Russell Wilson has been benched, and they will be going with rookie quarterback Jackson Dart.
Yeah,
and with their injury report, Tracy's going to be out. So, Mr. Scattaboo is going to be starting for the New York Giants. So,
until he's not, that dude runs head first.
We get a Peyton Hillis 2.0, or
yes, sir.
What do we get? So, but looking at the Giants injury report, Golston, their defensive end, is out today with an ankle injury. I think that's a big hurt on them. And their other defensive tackle, I think I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I'll mess it up. He's doubtful right now, but it's not looking like he's going to play. Tracy's out with a shoulder injury. And, that's a big thing with the Chargers, who have been, running the ball to set up the pass. Who would have seen that coming? I didn't think the Chargers would ever be 3-0. But the Chargers with an injury report, they don't have too many injuries out. Their tight end, Disley, is out. That'll be a big issue with them. But other than that, it's Chargers going to the Giants.
Yeah, should be a quick win for Jim Harbaugh and his boys, but
yep.
Maybe Jackson Dart's the answer.
Okay. Moving
Well,
on.
he's
The
got
Commanders.
he's got to be the answer because Dayball and the GM will be fired if it isn't.
If he's not, Jameis Winston's still sitting pretty there,
Yeah.
auditioning for commentator roles. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
I know. Well, yeah, I think he's gonna. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff that Russell Wilson doesn't know how to sit on the bench, and Jameis Winston's like, "I got you, brother. Come here. I'll show you how it's done." But yeah, so Jackson's starting with the New York Giants, but I think the Chargers come in. I think they win that game.
Fairly convincingly.
5
Agreed.
points. But the Chargers are looking good. I don't think I'd ever say that, but they're looking good. So we can move on to the last game.
You got two more, but we'll go Commanders Falcons.
What other game are we going to discuss?
We got Commanders Falcons, my man.
I know.
Looks like RG3 is out again this week.
I know.
What?
I thought he retired. Oh wait,
Seriously,
he just picked up the same quarterback.
If you're a Washington fan, are you experiencing deja vu right now? I mean,
here, hang on. I'll answer that question for you real quick. Bingo.
I mean, it's got to be a scary feeling there. I mean, you got Mariota, who's failed pretty much everywhere he's went, but he did well last week. He keeps you with the same offense. You know, he's not that bad of an athlete that they can't run the same plays. But, man, Daniel's out this week. McLaurin's out this week. Brown's out this week. Bates is out this week. That's all offensive players right there.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Commanders to win. Trust me. I'm going to wear my maroon and yellow today. I mean, I need, just because I hate the Falcons so much as a Bucs fan, but you gotta feel bad for the Commanders right now.
But here's a question, though. Look at what happened to the Falcons last week. I mean, they literally got destroyed. I mean, I don't even think the Falcons went past the 30-yard line in their own zone last week.
Yeah.
I mean, are the Falcons that anemic at this point, or was that just a like part of the crazy that happened last weekend?
I think it was a brilliant game plan by Carolina. Defensively, I think they did a great job getting Penix uncomfortable, forcing him off his spot, and when he did that, he got erratic. Yeah. I just think
can Washington's defense repeat that though?
Maybe.
One would hope. You're not going to wet the bed twice, right? I don't think Atlanta is going to just. They haven't went complete anemic on us. They should be okay. They should be able to put up some points. I mean, I'm all for them being anemic. I'm all for everyone in the NFC South just laying down and letting the Bucs walk away with this into the playoffs. But
because Mike Florio made a statement saying that the calls are already coming in to put Cousins back in.
It's almost yeah, I don't know. I mean, Kirk Cousins, he's good for a couple months. So you might as well ride out Penix at least another 2 weeks. So you only have to worry about that half a month that Cousins is going to be bad. Because Cousins is going to be great, then he's terrible, and then he's good again. It's just he always hits that wall that getting out of that terrible takes him a while.
But that's the problem with the way things are going right now. We get these young quarterbacks, and they start having bad games, and it's like, let's pull them. You know, and that's I think they can't do that. They got to let them learn how to fight through this stuff. So that's how you become a better quarterback. And yeah. I get it, but at the same point, it's like you wasted a first-round draft pick on this dude. Why we're going to call it a wash and move on.
Well, yeah, I don't think you're going to see them completely give up the reins on Michael Penix. But you got to win football games. If he goes on a tear or on a skid where he's losing like 3 or 4 in a row, what else can they do? They've got to do something to put life into that team. Cousins had him winning last year until late. He hits his wall. He always hits his wall. Falcons will be without their best cornerback in A.J. Terrell. So, I mean, that kind of helps the loss of McLaurin for Washington. But I don't know if they have enough. The Vegas says Falcons by 2.5, so they're giving you the field goal win if you're Washington. I think I don't know. This game is battle of backups, basically. I mean, I don't think you're going to see the best out of either team.
I think if Dan Quinn gets his defense to step up, because Jane Dale's not there, I think Washington walks away with the win there. That's if that Washington defense steps up. If they don't, if they've been playing like they have been the last week and the week before, where, the old timers are starting to show their age, I think that the Falcons will pull this out. So,
Andy, you're giggling like a little schoolboy down there.
I'm just reading what ESPN.com, Chargers at Giants. This is all it says. Quarterback mismatch.
yeah.
So let's do the picks, and then we can go home.
Yeah. So we got.
Yeah, you should. We got one more NFC East and the worst division in football South.
And we'll just gloss over the Panthers Patriots so we can get into the real game this week. Patriots are favored by 5.5. I think Carolina threw all their cards on the table last week. I don't think they have enough to weather the storm with New England. I think that's a safe bet at 5.5. I think they win by at least a touchdown. Now let's get into the important stuff, shall we? Defending Super Bowl champions and the Raymond James Stadium. Shut up, Sean. 21-20 Falcons. Come on now.
Attaboy, Sean. That's what I like to see.
Eagles head to Raymond James Stadium to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucs will be without Mike Evans. Again, I don't think the man has played an entire season. His hamstring is always going. I love Mike, don't get me wrong, but he's always injured. My biggest fear for this is his last year. I think that he might be done after this. I think he thinks he's done after this. I really wanted to see him go out and get his 1,000 yards this season. It's going to be difficult, especially with the way he started. Bucs gonna be without Evans, facing the defending Super Bowl champions, but they should get back today, possibly. Their talk is Chris Godwin and Tristan Wirfs could possibly make their season debut today, which would be a blessing. Bucs have been scrambling on the offensive line, jumping players around, playing them out of position. We have your center playing left tackle. You have your guard playing center. You've lost both your starting tackles. You've lost your starting right guard or left guard. Sorry. It's going to be a tough one. Philly's favored by 3.5 in this one. They have one player as questionable as Eric Jackson, their corner. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't see a way the Bucs win because I am not counting out Baker Mayfield ever again.
Is he's questionable with the bicep?
Nah, he's playing,
injury.
bro. He's playing.
I get that, but he's still. I didn't know he had a bicep. So I don't know how.
Get your weight up. But seriously, I mean, how can you count out the Bucs right now at this point?
Well, they're 3-0. We're going to find out if they're a legit 3-0 team or if they're not.
I don't think them losing today would make them a non-legit team. If they get blown out today, it might make you reconsider things. I don't see that happening. I don't see the Bucs getting blown out today. I might be wrong. I've been wrong many times.
You got a rookie wide receiver that's stepping up. So I think if the keys to the games, I think, is to run the ball.
100%.
What I would do is Philadelphia, run the ball, keep them off the clock, give the ball to Bucky Irvin as much as possible, run that ball. And
but seriously, I know you're joking, fantasy
I'm being serious.
But that is a real.
I'm being serious. That's the only way they're going to keep the Eagles off, keep Jalen Hurts and that offense off the field, and keep this to a low score minimum game as much as possible. Especially, Goodwin's going to have a pitch count like we talked about earlier. And with Worst coming back, that's going to help you out big time. But I think you still need to try to at least run the ball and keep the Eagles honest defensively wise. But yeah,
I honestly wouldn't be shocked today if we see Tristan Wirfs play right tackle again. They keep the offensive line as it's currently constructed and just move out the backup for Wirfs and I can't place the name now. Starting center, I don't know why it's eluding me, who's been playing left tackle, stay at left tackle. The Bucs defense.
CTE.
One more time.
Bretson? Your center?
No, Brenson is the center now. He's actually a guard.
Yeah.
Brennison, yes. But no, I can't place his name. Draft pick last year. I don't know why I'm struggling so much. Anyway.
We all do.
I think you see Tristan Wirfs slip it up to right tackle and you let them run the ball. You run the ball and let this temperature that's going to be 130, 135, somewhere around there on field, wear on the opposition. You use the home field advantage to your advantage. The more you can get their hands on the knees, the more susceptible they are going to be to the run. You pound the ball, and then you open up your passing game. If you can keep that defense on the field for the first couple of drives, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 12 minutes. You keep extending those drives, forcing them to be in that heat a long period of time. That's your key to a win. I know it sounds, elementary, but if you force that defense to stay on the field, keeping your defense fresh, I think you have a real shot at winning that game.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to make a joke. If Baker Mayfield could get Jalen Carter worked up, maybe they get him kicked out of the game too. That might help.
Yeah, right.
That'd actually be kind of fun to watch those two jaw at each other because Baker ain't backing down from anybody, and and I love seeing it. But let me throw this nugget at you again. Going analytics, and I think this plays into this whole running game thing and keeping defenses out on the field. So looking at both teams overall, Tampa Bay's got the 11th rated defense in the league. Philadelphia 18th. Now here's the glaring weaknesses. Tampa Bay is rated 20th on pass defense, whereas Philadelphia is ranked 11th. Okay, so right there you're already saying, okay, we need to run the ball against Philadelphia. Their pass defense is pretty darn good, right? But on run defense, Tampa Bay is ranked 5th, and Philadelphia is ranked 24th in run defense. So right there, that tells me if Tampa's that good stopping the run and keeping Saquon Barkley in check, now you got to force Jalen Hurts to play quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's going to be interesting. Couple of other nuggets. Red zone defense, and this is where it gets kind of key. They're both top 5 in the league. So if you aren't scoring touchdowns, this becomes a kicking game. And that'll be kind of interesting too. But here's a glaring one that I looked at, and I think this is what's going to help Tampa in this situation. Third down efficiency rate on defense. Tampa Bay is 3rd in the league in stopping on third down. That's going to be key with Philadelphia's offense because we all know the tush push. We all know all that kind of stuff. Stuff them on third down. Don't give them that opportunity to get close. Philadelphia is ranked 21st in the league.
Yeah.
There's some glaring back and forth, but to your point, establishing the run is going to be key in this game. Also, time of possession. Keep the defense out for Philadelphia. Don't give Philadelphia the opportunity to get the ball. But also, flip it around. Force Jalen Hurts to play quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't let Saquon beat you.
So to that, I would say, yeah, but think about it like this: kind of like colleges, how like the number 1 ranked team, the reason why they're number 1 is because they go against different type of competition. And I think that's actually kind of similar to this. You have the AFC South, which is they're not necessarily up to par with certain other ones. That's fine. We all kind of know that. But Philadelphia, unfortunately, their competition has been a little bit tougher than Tampa Bay's competition. I would venture to say, and as such, those numbers kind of belie the fact that there is that difference, that slight difference in competition, at least early on. So the way that Philadelphia is ranked 21st in the run might actually end up being a top 10, maybe a top 15, as opposed to where they currently are. That's the only point that I would venture to make. So
Yeah, and that's a valid argument. Bucs opposition has a record of like 1-4, whereas the Eagles is like 3-2 or something like that. I mean, it's different. You know what I mean? You're playing different teams. Having said that, the wheel continues to roll due to flawless design. If the Bucs can run the ball and stop the run, they can win this game. If they force the Eagles defense to be on the field elongated periods of time, the Bucs can win this game. So for me, key players for this game, it's going to be the Bucs defensive line and the Bucs offensive line. That's where this game's won at. And that's all that's most football comes down to, but this game in particular is going to be one up front. But
just one more quick question. Do you think Tampa Bay can actually come back from behind?
I think they've answered that 3 weeks in a row. It's amazing when you have a team believing in your quarterback and believing in the scheme that they don't give up. You know what I mean? They've
Philadelphia.
Again, I don't think they have any fear of coming back from anybody. I think they've established that they have the confidence in themselves and in their quarterback. And you have confidence in your quarterback, you can do a lot of things that most teams, like let's say, I don't know, Dallas, that doesn't have confidence in their quarterback can't do. Or like in Chicago, where you don't have confidence in your quarterback, you're not going to be able to do. It's just the way it is. But
but having confidence in a quarterback for a mediocre team still basically means that you're having confidence for a quarterback with a mediocre team.
Hey, undefeated. All right, gentlemen. Are we ready for our pick six?
Let's do it.
Brian, Mike,
Word. Let's do it.
Wait a minute. Did someone leak the script? How did we get the footage? Was that from today's game? Is that like a prequel?
Leave the comedy to me. You guys just stop. Nobody laughs at your stuff.
As we discussed prior, Brian and Mike, you guys are both tied last week. Who wants to go first?
I'll let Brian
Not
go
all
first.
at once. Brian, you win.
I'll go first. All right, so my 6 is Buffalo Bills. My 5 is Denver Broncos. My 4 is the Detroit Lions. My number 3 is the LA Chargers. Number 2, and sorry to Mike, it's going to be the Eagles. And
That's
number
right, I saw
1,
your picks last week. I'm not too
Green
worried.
Bay. Well, you didn't do any better there, pal.
Anyway, Stout, it's your turn.
I got the Bills at 6. I got the Chargers at 5. Denver at 4. I got the Niners at 3. I got Houston at 2, and I got the Packers at 1.
Jerry Jones, the man with the mic.
No, you got Dallas.
Yes,
at 1.
no, you guys, no, picks are in. I sent it in. Nobody complained about it, so I got the Packers.
Oh, I complained about it. I called them out. I called you out, cheater.
All you said was where the Cowboys at. Nobody said I couldn't do it. All I see was where the Pack Cowboys. I got
go
it.
next.
It's in. It's on the show. I'm in.
Ladies,
All right, I'll go next. We got the Bills at 6, Lions at 5, the Washington Commanders at 4, Denver at 3, the Chargers at 2, and the Bucs at 1. Andy, round us out, man.
I think if I actually do as well as I did last week, I'll be ready for the Masters probably in another year or so. So we got the Bills at number 1. They're 6.
At 6, all right.
I already texted these in. The Lions, of course, at number 5. The Eagles, because they're playing a very, very soft, very easy team.
Yes.
The Chargers, The Rams and, of course, the Bears are going to probably end up winning by one full touchdown at least.
Very good. All right. Brian, before we get out of here today, do you have some bets for us, plays for us? You got anything that we
Yes.
can use to make some money?
Yes, of course.
Your intro's not here any longer.
And it's fine. And it's fine. So if you were to so I'm gonna start a new thing. Whenever I give out my pick six, if you think I'm gonna get a blackjack, I'm gonna give you the odds on it. Odds on my pick six this week are plus 300. So play at your will. And that's just straight money line bets. However, I am playing a bet right now. I've actually got one that's live. But basically, this is going to be my parlay of the day. You want to take Josh Jacobs, 60-plus rushing yards. Jake Ferguson, 40-plus receiving yards. Justin Herbert, over 225 passing yards. Patrick Mahomes, over 225 passing yards. James Cook, over 60 yards rushing. Brock Bowers, over 5 receptions. And the player that's live right now that's making these odds go up, you wanted to take Jordan Mason. I can't even get the word out.
Good Lord.
Take him at 60-plus yards. Right now, it's live at plus 1707.
Damn. That'd be nice.
Wow.
Good luck. All right. We've reached the end of our happy hour. You guys have some closing thoughts?
I'm
Fabulous.
still laughing about the Tampa Bay soft thing from Andy. I mean,
All right then. As always, like to thank our wives and families for allowing us to come on here and be an idiot for an hour. You other gentlemen are always idiots. Go ahead, Mike.
1 hour.
Yeah, Stout, get those curtains ready for that place. That's all I'm going to say.